Hello, all my singles out there. I hope you're doing well. Either way, though, even if you're not doing the best around this time of year, I completely understand. I get you. I hope that I can provide some insights for you as for what you can expect for your next love. Now, this mainly is probably, I haven't pulled the cards yet, but except for these, this is mainly going to be about your next long-term partnership. But if I feel like it's more of a short-term thing, I'll let you know if that's what's coming through. And we'll just get right into it. We have the 3 piles here. We have pile 1A, 2B, and 3C. So you can take some time if you need to pause the video and really think about or feel which stack is meant for you. You could be drawn to more than one and you can listen to more than one. You could feel drawn to none of them, and if that's the case, then this just might not be the pick a card reading video for you. But I have plenty of other timeless pick a card reading videos located all throughout my YouTube channel. Also, I did say this is just around the corner for Valentine's Day. That's when this will be uploaded. But you can, this will be timeless. This can resonate with you even if it's way far into the future from when this is originally uploaded. There we go. As a reminder, everything I talk about and discuss in this video is for entertainment purposes only and cannot be stated as fact. All right, let's get into it. Hello 1A and welcome to your part of the pick a card reading video. So we have here, free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. And then I feel like the way that this happens for this time around, what am I trying to say? Oh, by the way, I'm using the Romance Angel Oracle cards, but the way that these were being pulled felt like this is more so the energy of you now or the advice you need right now. And then I feel like pulling another card for information regarding your future love. So we'll just get started with that. Spirit, just an extra additional card. So this is like the energy that they need to hear now, the message they need to hear now. What about for the future, once they maybe meet their partner or maybe when they're more ready, whatever it is? I feel like, is it this bottom one? Yeah. Okay. Unrequited love. Interesting. And it says, there's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. Okay, very interesting. So I actually feel kind of sad drawing that because I feel like a lot of you have probably been in that bubble already where it's like you keep maybe shooting your shot and it doesn't end up going the way you'd like for it to. So Spirit's like, don't worry about it, but then it ends up kind of happening again. So I think for a lot of you, if you've chosen this stack, the type of people you attract in your life, or the type of people I should say you go for, are people who I think subconsciously you know that they probably wouldn't have feelings for you back, or that you would have more love for them or more of a likeness for them. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you like I don't want to say it's just that you like the chase, but I think subconsciously you have this conditioning of trying to win people over because you know that you like them more, or that you will like them more, or that you'll put in more energy, and that you probably have realized you put in most of the effort for relationships or situationships or whatever it may be. But it just feels like that's really what's going on here. So, but the advice you have right now is to free yourself. So I think with that as well, I think there's different messages coming through. I think you've been through your fair share of relationships, situationships, whatnot. So I think some of you are even a little bit scared to hop back into things because you don't want to repeat the same mistakes, and it feels like a lot of you kind of will. I'm so sorry. But that's how we learn, we grow. And so I think free yourself of expectations is a big thing that's popping up here. So even if you make the same mistakes, then just try to recognize when you make the mistake and be like, okay, I can just do better next time, Or maybe there's something different about this next person you want to date, but then you realize after spending time with them, maybe they have a different look, but they're still the same. Why do I keep going for these people who are like this? I thought because they looked a lot different than the kind of people I go for, then that would be okay. But then we see here it still doesn't end up working in your favor. So I think also on this journey, for right now, I will say, I'm getting the big sense that Spirit is like, do not focus on trying to establish a long-term relationship with anybody. You can, I mean, you can still try, I guess. But what I'm sensing, what I'm seeing is I'm seeing this, like, from up above, like God or your spirit guides going like this and being like, and also like kind of like this, like, no more, like, no, 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 don't look at my finger, follow my finger, focus on here. But it's really, with freeing yourself, it's time to focus on yourself right now. So I think a lot of you, in order to try to prevent, and I think too, maybe this advice is saying this is what's coming for you if you don't focus on yourself right now, where they're not saying you can't find love, you can't be in a romantic relationship with somebody who also has love and respect for you the way that you do for them. But I'm also seeing, like, yeah, the imbalance. So if you're somebody who does tend to give more in relationships, then you need to find a partner who is able to give a lot, but you also don't need to overcompensate by giving all of yourself or most of yourself to try to, like, balance out the relationship. Does that make sense? But with freeing yourself too, I see that you shouldn't focus on, maybe you're somebody who tries so hard to be in relationships and you're always like trying to ask people out or like shoot your shot. And Spirit's like, now's the time to take back control of your life, means to just live your life day to day. And also, I will say, this isn't the case for every single person, but you hear about, oh yeah, like like people saying they've been in a long-term relationship with somebody, they're like, yeah, when I stopped looking for love and when I least expected it is when it happened. And I think for a lot of you that will be the case. I think you should stop seeking it out right now. I think if it does come for you anytime soon, I don't really get it will be sometime soon, maybe like 6 months plus from now. It could be less than that for some of you, but I'm just getting the sense that I shouldn't even say anything about time frame, because Spirit's like, don't put a time frame on it. Just don't worry about time frame. Just focus on your own energy, and then naturally you'll just like bump into somebody who you will find an attraction to. I don't get the sense that you will get back together with somebody who you've been in a previous relationship with. And if you do, then it's saying this is part of the issue. That's part of freeing yourself. So if you're hoping to be in a relationship with somebody from your past, Spirit is saying do not do it. Do not repeat this. And then we have, for the tarot, we have a gay tarot that we will be pulling from. So let's do that. Let's pull from here. I feel like I've already been talking a long time. Okay, not too long. Maybe it's interesting. It actually hasn't been that much time, as I thought. That was in double-digit time. So maybe for all of you too, it's like you feel like you're being patient, but Spirit's like, look at the time that's passed. It actually hasn't been much time at all. So that's something to consider. Any additional information for my singles out there, what they need to know. I feel like I should be more specific. Maybe 2 cards over here for like advice you have for them, and then 2 cards for their future love. So what advice do you have for the singles for right now, for what they should do? What they should do. We have Man of Pentacles, which is the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. One more card there. Advice for my singles. For them right now. Feels like there's a lot of cards that kind of want to come out, but then they're like, and then they're like going hiding back away. Okay. And then 9 of Pentacles in reverse. So yeah, advice for you, for your, how do I want to say, for you going into whatever next relationship, or even before then. This is really about, it's weird because I feel like you fall for people that you know don't have love for you, or that they won't be able to develop that. But then also I'm hearing that you should lower your expectations. It's very weird. So I think also this is about priorities. So is your priority to get somebody to love you, or is it to find somebody who will respect you and love you for who you are without you needing to change who you are or make yourself smaller? Really, sorry, my cat's trying to get off the cat tower then. I had to move some stuff around for him and they were just staring. Okay. Ooh, you know what? I feel like what I just said will resonate too. Why? Yeah, it's like maybe you, with that, Spirit's like you're fixing your love life or the way you approach love and dating in one area, but then you're neglecting another area, or you're thinking another area is not important. Like, for example, maybe you're like, okay, I'll stop thinking I can only go for people based off of how they look. I won't do that anymore. I'll look at their personality. But then you still go for people who are like, even though you don't go based off of physical attraction or the way people look, very love is blind. Even though maybe you say you won't do that, you go for people who go to the gym and who work out and who are athletic. So then it's like it almost kind of bleeds in. It's like, okay, you have this boundary, you have this new thing you're doing here, but then you're not fully actually committing to that. So I think Spirit is saying you have to be more open-minded, but not in the wrong areas, not in ways that actually you are being closed-minded, but you're just wording it differently is the way it comes across. So that's part of freeing yourself too. Just be free like a bird, or like release this fence, this cage. You are able to be free of your own mind is the way this comes across. So just, I don't want to say lower your expectations, but just be more open-minded. So if people do things, like apparently a big red flag for people or something that they just find unattractive is when people do like Magic the Gathering or collect Pokemon cards. And then maybe you're like that too. You're like, I don't want to be with somebody who's like a nerd, right? But then maybe you're like, okay, I'm going on this date with this guy who apparently really likes like Magic the Gathering. And so then they go on this date with you and you're like, okay, they're actually really kind. They treat me very kindly and they're very sweet. So really this is big advice to not go for people going forward that you would typically go for. And that doesn't mean that if you end up with somebody in your next relationship or like further down the line who's similar to your past relationships, that doesn't mean that's bad, but at least you're keeping an open mind during the process. But I do see that for a lot of you, who you'll end up with next, or maybe even like lifelong, could be somebody who's actually a very good blend of people you've gone for in the past, as well as having qualities or traits that you're not used to, and those will be very nicely merged together. So that's something to consider here. Okay, and then anything about their future love you'd like to say about their future love? I feel like that should be put, the same thing is happening. Maybe it's because of also the bleeding energies like I was talking about. I'm going to put that back in there. Okay. The future love, Spirit. Anything you can tell me about that? I heard settling, because I heard like the cards make a noise, and I'm like, oh, they're settling. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute, settling. Five of Cups in reverse. So yeah, whatever the other card is going to say right now is a time of, when you go on, ooh. What's happening here? Let me try to fix this a little bit. I don't know how crooked it all became. Let me see. Everything looks pretty good. You know, I'm just gonna, I feel like maybe that was a sign to like not say anything yet until the other card gets pulled. Okay. And then Death in reverse. Yeah, these beautifully tie in together. So for your future partnership, for your future love, the main thing Spirit wants to say to you right now is, again, just don't even focus on a future relationship. Because right now you just got to focus on your own healing. And I feel like there's wounds that you have from a prior relationship or relationships that you're still not over. That's what this energy could indicate too. It's like being stuck in on other possibilities you think could happen for you. And Spirit's like, it's like the whole Mean Girls fetch. Like, don't make fetch happen, Gretchen. It's never going to happen. Stop trying to make it happen. So that's kind of what Spirit is saying here. If you're really holding out hope for or maybe it's somebody in your life who you didn't date, but you just have been in like a weird sort of like in-between phase with for a long time. Spirit's like, it's not going to happen. They're just like, I see you like on a leash or on a rope, and they're just like, they have, it's, or like, I'm hearing the phrase, they have you wrapped around their finger. So for some of you that resonates, or else that again just indicates still being wrapped up in that prior relationship or relationships. So Spirit's saying moving forward, it's like love can be meant for you, but you got to focus on yourself right now. It's a time of shedding what once was, and that also means freeing yourself from parts of yourself that you need to shed. So it's really a time of working on yourself. I know this probably isn't what you want to hear, but it's true. And I get that good things will come for you once you do more of this, and Spirit doesn't want you to just like dabble and do a little bit. I feel like with this, the Death, Five of Cups in reverse, the main thing is that you need to do like almost like a full, it's almost like a full perspective shift. And I feel like there's parts of your identity that maybe you've been ashamed of that you haven't fully expressed in relationships. I can see those finally being expressed in future romantic endeavors as well, once you're more comfortable with yourself. So a big message here is learning to be more comfortable with yourself, and then you'll learn to be more comfortable in a safe relationship, and you won't have to question it so much. You'll know, you'll have a stronger intuition, and you'll have more logic and reasoning that you'll use to back up your arguments of like, okay, does this person like me, or are they just like, if you're just like, oh, I don't know if they like me, so I gotta try hard, I gotta like put all this effort in, and then that's also scares people away. So it's like, I really see a shifting of perspective, but also I see like parts of your identity changing. Like for some of you, this isn't gonna be all of you, maybe this doesn't resonate, maybe you're bisexual or pansexual, or you realize that you are, right? Just hang with me. And if that's the case, maybe you're like, I've said that I've come out as bisexual is not enough, but maybe you're like, I've always really wanted to at least go on a date. Like if you're a woman and you're like, I've always really wanted to go on a date with a woman, so I want to at least do that before I go into my next relationship. So this can be a time of exploring for you as well. That's why you also need to not worry so much about committed relationships and long-term relationships. It's about focusing on doing, like I'm hearing, you'll never know unless you try. So just, yeah, having an open mind. It's really a time of trying different things. And that also can indicate with this that was a time to actually learn how to enjoy self-pleasure. And that's as much as I'll say on here. But sometimes when we, I don't even want to say sometimes, when we do that, when we engage in self-pleasure activities and we learn how we can please ourselves or make ourselves happy, that will make it much easier in romantic relationships. Even if it's not like, even for example, if you're a virgin, you've never done anything like that with a partner, then it doesn't even have to be anything like intense. Self-love can come in many different forms. So maybe it's like giving yourself a bubble bath, right? Taking maybe an extra minute longer in the shower. Not being shameful of different body parts. So there's many ways to practice self-love, but that's very much being highlighted here. And so with learning to love ourselves, we'll learn to accept love that we deserve from other people more. Okay, thank you so much, 1A, for watching and listening to this video. I hope it was helpful for you. And I'm sorry if it wasn't necessarily what you wanted to hear. But I don't sugarcoat, and I don't try to like misinterpret what I'm being told and what I'm being shown. But yeah, you can like the video if you liked it. You can subscribe. You can check out my ASMR channels. Those are linked down below. And I think that is it. Thank you. Bye-bye. Hello, Thothme, and welcome to your part of the pick a card reading video. We have here getting to know each other. It says, as you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. And this is the energy that is occupying you right now. Whoa, I was going to try and get some intuitive messages from that, but I feel like Spirit is like, no, wait. So we're using the Romance Angel Oracle cards. And that's the energy occupying you now. I will then pull an extra card over here for like the energy that occupies your future romantic partnership or romantic endeavor. But yeah, I was really being like told, I was really getting like fuzzy. Not just in my third eye, but in real life I was getting fuzzy vision. I'm like, oh, am I gonna faint? I feel like, okay. True love, okay. This is the romance of a lifetime. So let me just say, if you have chosen this stack, you may be single, but you'll know if this is your stack. Sorry, I'm making sure everything's in frame correctly. If this is your stack, then this means you may be single, but you are talking to somebody. right now who, I don't even want to say it's a situationship, but maybe you've just started talking to somebody. Maybe it's like a, what is it? You're around them, but you're not, your relationship hasn't started as a romantic relationship. So it makes me think of like you became friends, or this is like a friend of a friend. Oh, it's very much that vibe. Friend of a friend, like you met at a party or at a social gathering, or you stalked them online. I don't know. It's like you started talking on socials. So maybe you haven't actually started dating this person or going on dates with this person, but this is yeah. And as you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. So this, yeah, it's like you don't know each other very well, like very basic information, like their name. You might not even know where they work or what their major is if they're in college or anything. You may not know anything about them, like if they even live in the same town as you. But we have true love here. This is a romance of a lifetime. So even if y'all don't end up together forever, I see that your next partnership will probably last quite a while, and it will be very happy and very healthy. So it could be forever, but I feel like Spirit is saying don't worry about that because you're in the beginning stages of things right now, so don't go too fast. Or don't think too much too fast. Don't put too much, what's the phrasing? Don't put too much, like confidence into it before you've even gotten to know each other very much. But this seems like it will turn into something more, and that I just see you being very happy. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what else to say about that. I talked a lot more for stack 1A, but I feel like that's mainly what I have to say for you all. It just looks like if you've got the vibe, like, oh, I think we could maybe get along well, and I could see maybe us going on dates and that going well. If you've been getting that intuitive insight, Spirit's like, hey, yeah, you're picking up on it all right. And then we have, this isn't anybody, we have the Gay Tarot that we will be pulling from. This isn't somebody from your past, by the way. If you're like, oh, this is somebody who I used to date or used to talk to, and then I'm starting to talk to them again, that's not the vibe I'm getting at all. This is somebody new, somebody who's very newly entered your life. It's almost like a shooting star. It's like, where'd you come from? And if this hasn't happened yet, I see this happening. Where, for some of you, I will say it could be on a dating app as well, but I get the sense of, like, you just know very basic information about each other. Maybe you just only started talking on a dating app, but it's very much the vibe of you don't really know each other. In any way. It's like friend or friend, it's like far removed in that way, or it's through a dating app. Okay, what advice do you have for them? Over here will be advice for you right now, and this will be information, 2 cards about, like, your future love, just information they would like to provide. So advice for them right now. What can you say? What advice do you have for them right now? For 1A, what advice do you have for them right now going into this next love, whether it's now, whether it's in the future, whenever it is? What advice do you have for them? 5 of Swords. Ooh. So I don't actually get a bad vibe from this. This can be indicative of arguing, but I'm hearing good banter is what I'm hearing. Oh, I'm not going to turn this over yet, but this is supposed to go over here. That's what I'm hearing. And this is right here. Ace of Cups. Yeah, so the advice that Spirit has for you is that you should have good banter with this person. Like, I don't want to explain. Also, if you're somebody who gets easily offended, I could see your next partner being, or this person being somebody who, and that doesn't mean you can have boundaries, but I see them being somebody who more like, part of their love language is banter. So that means you playfully, like, make fun of each other, or like, I want to say that phrase. I don't know if that's allowed on YouTube. I'll just say it. Take the piss out of each other. You know, it's like you humble each other. So maybe you're not used to that relationship, so you feel like that's maybe more of a friend vibe. So part of advice for you is if you have really good communication with somebody, maybe in the past, if you have good communication and you're able to be really funny and weird and silly with each other, maybe then you start to develop more of like a brother, sister, or like brother, sister, sister, type of relationship with them, like a sibling relationship or like a cousin relationship or just a really good friend relationship, a good friendship. It seems like maybe you kind of tie those in together. You feel like maybe in love you have to be more serious and like more lovey-dovey and always talking loving to each other. But part of your advice is you have to remember you should be friends with the person you are dating. You shouldn't just date them. If you're not friends with the person you're dating, that's not really a relationship. That's just some weird romantic social agreement. I feel like. So Spirit's like, don't be afraid to. Also with this, I'm hearing don't be afraid of conflict and don't be afraid to be vulnerable. And that's, I'm seeing this, like somebody going like this, like, shoo shoo, go away. So if you get into arguments with people, I think this other person is somebody, or somebody who you should end up honestly being with, whether it's this next person or not, should be somebody who's really good at communicating, who isn't afraid to have tough conversations, and also who isn't even afraid to argue or to fight. That doesn't mean, like, in a toxic way. Like, we won't always get along with the other person. We won't always have the same hobbies or interests. Not everything will be aligned, and that's okay. Like, we can even, it's like I'm hearing agree to disagree. You can also agree to disagree, and so with the Ace of Cups, it's showing there's also a good balance with that. I see this next person actually being, like, at first you might be like, what? No, you know what? I feel like this person is very different from you, whether that's aesthetically, like, it makes me think of those, like, goth guys who end up with pretty princess-looking girls. I'm just saying that as an example. So maybe aesthetically y'all will be very different. I just feel like you all are very different. Like, it's the whole opposites attract, where one person could be very shy, one person could be very extroverted. I see that you're probably the person who's more shy, is the way this comes across, and the other person is more extroverted. So I think with that too, when there's differences like in social gatherings, maybe you're like, after the fact, you're like, that made me uncomfortable, you did that, and then the other person could be like, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that was something that Axel, don't do that, sorry, my cat. It's like, oh, why didn't you tell me at the party? And you're like, no, I don't want to cause a scene at the party. And then that person's like, well, you could have brought me into like a bathroom or outside or something, or you could have just like brought me to the corner. And then you're just like, no, I really don't like having conflict in public. Like, it's very much that. I think there's very different styles. Communication styles could be a thing too. So I think trying to find a balance between the way you communicate could be very important. But I see it ending up still, you will complement each other. But that's just advice that you have. Like, just because there's differences doesn't mean that it has to be deal breakers. It's about finding the balance in the merging I'm seeing for the two. Is my camera crooked? I can't tell. Hi, can you see my glasses? Can you see me? Hi, how y'all doing? I'm just making sure here. Huh. I feel like me doing this right now too kind of indicates to you, it's like, with the true love, it's almost like, I feel like conflict could be started as well, because you're, maybe in past relationships, like, if there wasn't any conflict, then it's like you're always just waiting. Maybe this brings you back to childhood too. A lot of our childhood traumas are reflected into our relationships, but it's like, if conflict isn't happening, then maybe one or both of you could be like, okay, now it's time to like argue about something, even if it seems small. And it's like, it's really not a big deal, but then y'all will fight, and then you'll feel silly after the fact. Or it could be, that could be one or both of you. But it could also be like, maybe, like, I do get the sense of more conflict avoidance, where one of you is like, maybe somebody or both of you are like, let's just push this aside, we don't have to focus on this. The Spirit is saying, part of getting to know each other is knowing the things that you won't like about each other. You don't have to like every single thing or love every single thing about your partner or your potential partner. So it's about finding the good, appreciating the good, and for the bad, if it's something that's not a deal breaker, learning to accept it or to try to work around it and be like, hey, I don't like that you do this. Is there something that, like, what do I do that you don't like, and trying to find ways to compromise, but also maybe there's things that it's like, this is just part of who I am, you can accept it or not. So for a lot of you, part of the advice is accepting things you can't change, or things that aren't perfect, because things can't be perfect. And then over here we have for the future endeavor, Two of Wands. So yeah, see, I remember I brought up earlier about, and then This card was on the bottom, so I did see it, but I feel like this needs to be shown, which is the Hierophant. The Priest is the Hierophant. So I do see this next person, this being a long-term thing. We even see these people getting married by the Priest here. So I wouldn't be surprised if you end up marrying this person. I know that, again, don't focus too much on it. Okay, don't focus too much on if that happens or not. But I get a good vibe that it's at least going to be a long-term thing. Like, not just a couple months, at least 2 years plus. Some people, 2 years isn't a long time. And, like, my longest relationship was around 2 years. That was my high school sweetheart, so maybe take with that what you will, but... Okay, and then Two of Wands in reverse. So I wonder if... I brought this up earlier. I'm like, you maybe don't even know if they live in the same town as you. I wonder if in the future this person... Or I wonder... So I wonder if they don't live where you do now, or in the future maybe you or the other person has to move away for work. I just see this being more long distance. It's weird though, because I don't... So maybe it is more the case that people just have to end up moving, or maybe like something happened, they have to move back to their hometown to help take care of their like dying father, you know, very much that vibe. But it seems like at some point the relationship could be long distance, or it could even be that it takes a long time for you to finally get to meet because of any distance, or if you both are just super busy. It reminds me of like 2 college students or people who are really up and coming in their career. And so it's like they just don't have time. They don't even really have time for friends. So I think it could just be hard. Conflicting schedules could also be an issue. That could be part of the issue you need to work through. So conflicting schedules and or it being long distance. But I see you being able to make it work because this is something you feel so good about. And you should. This feels very like karmic, cosmic. It feels like you are meant to be brought together. But if you're somebody who... I don't know why I feel like I keep needing to bring this up. If you're somebody who in the past, okay, I'm seeing my tattoo, my love bomb tattoo. I have a tattoo of like a bomb and it has hearts on it. Anyway, it's on my leg. I wonder if you're somebody who, I don't know if you're the love bomber or if you've been love bombed. Probably it's gone both ways. I feel like everybody's been in those kinds of situations. And when you're young especially. But... And I do get more of like a youthful vibe, so 20s and 30s here for you all, being in like age 20s and 30s. But it feels like part of the issue could be if you aren't used to like receiving a good amount of affirmations or lovingness as opposed to a bombardment of it. Remember, true love isn't having to constantly be like, I love you. And not showing it and just saying it. It's about showing it through actions and words, but it doesn't have to be every second of the day. So that's something too. And also with the Two of Wands in reverse, it reminds me of that compromise again. So I feel like there's going to be compromises that will need to be made in order for you to be brought together. And there's differences in lifestyles, differences in habits, but I feel like it's just very opposites attract and that y'all are meant for each other. If I were to get a time frame, well, I don't even want to say a time frame because it feels like this is already kind of in the works. If not, I feel this is going to happen very, very soon. But don't try too hard to be on the lookout for it. But if you're like, oh, I actually am soon going to go to this one thing, so I'll have to see if I meet people there, then you can have that, you know, idea on the back of your head, but don't be like, I need to. Brittney said, so that means I need to be on the lookout. Okay? Like, you'll know. I'm just hearing you'll know when you should reach out to somebody or like start talking to somebody that you met, or like on a dating app somebody just like sparks your interest, even if there's nothing particular about their dating profile. Something will just stick out energy wise and you'll just feel intuitively like this feels different. Okay, I will leave it at that. Thank you so much 2B for watching and listening to this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, you can like the video for me. You can subscribe. You can check out my other ASMR channels. Those are listed down below. You can check out my other timeless pick a card reading videos on my channel. And I will leave it at that. Oh, also a comment down below if this resonates and provide any updates if you feel comfortable doing so as well. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. Hi 3C, welcome to your part of the pick a card reading video. So the card we have here is trust. This situation is calling for you to have faith. And then I will pull another card. This card represents your energy now. And then the other card I will pull from the Romance Angel Oracle cards deck will be about energy relating to your future love, your future partnership. I feel a little bit more sad and somber for this starting. I feel like a lot of you, it's saying trust, this situation is calling for you to have faith. I feel like you're very down in the dumps. Maybe you're somebody who every time it's Valentine's Day and you don't have a partner, you're just like, oh, I'm never going to find love. Like, I'm not deserving or worthy of love. So Spirit is saying you got to stop having those thoughts. Spirit is saying trust that things will get better. You have to have faith and believe that you are a person worthy of love and that love for you is out there. It's not just about you being worthy, but it's out there for you. And let's get some a message for the future love. What can we know about their future love, their future partnership? This feels funky. I feel like it needs to be that. Let your friends help you. Ask for and accept support from others. So when I pulled this card, it immediately made me think of people who, like, you know, you have a friend who does your dating app for you, or they pick out the photos for it, or they help you with your bio for a dating app. So I'm getting that sense. If you're somebody who's too prideful for dating apps, a lot of times these readings say, like, meet people in person and all that, but this is really saying, hey, take what you can get, especially if you live somewhere that's a smaller area of town or of, like, the country of the world that you live in. Maybe, I want to say slim pickings, like, there just isn't many people that you are available for you to date. So this can indicate getting help on your dating app, on your dating profile, on the dating apps, I should say. And getting help, like, you see this person's being pampered. I'm hearing, don't be afraid to be pampered a little bit, you know? Don't be afraid to ask for help for that. And I feel like a lot of you would be like, oh, that's so, like, embarrassing. But Spirit's like, oh, stop it. Stop it. You gotta not worry about, and this person kind of looks sheepish, like shy, like, So you might be shy to ask for help, but it's okay to ask for help. Also, something I'm hearing is maybe you could ask your friends or your close loved ones, like, hey, I haven't been in a relationship in a long time. I go on the apps, but I just don't really have good dates. What do you, as a good friend or as a good family member, what can you say that I need to improve on? What's something that if you were to date me, what would be like a red flag or an ick? What's something that I do? You know, and you can ask people that. Or you could be like, let's pretend we're on a date for like 5 minutes, and you can ask me these questions and I'll answer them, and you can tell me, like, what's so weird about what I say or how I say it. Asking for advice like that, it can be very humbling, and I could see you all being very embarrassed, and maybe there's something, oh, I didn't realize I did that, or I still do that. Spirit's like, it's okay. And maybe there's parts of yourself that are pointed out, like, by a friend or family member, like, oh, this is something that would be a red flag for me. But maybe you think about it and you're like, you know what, that's not really a red flag for me. Maybe you realize for other people it could be, or it could be something that other people don't like or find attractive. But you're like, you know what, I do like this thing about me. Like, I do like for me, I have crooked teeth. So it's like, for crooked teeth is a big deal breaker for a lot of people. So it's like, you know what, I'm not ashamed of my crooked teeth. And that's even just talking from, like, my experience, but also as an example. It's like, I'm not ashamed, because I don't want to be with somebody who's only gonna, their main reason for not being with me is because I have crooked teeth. You know what I'm saying? So I think that will get the wheels turning. It's like, okay, well, maybe it's a good thing it didn't work out with those past people, or like the people I've been currently talking to, because they wouldn't really accept me for who I am. So trust also that with being deserving of love, that means being deserving of love, I'm hearing wholesomely, like, and also you as a whole person, not, like, I think of people too, it's like, you hear people say, oh yeah, I'm not gonna go on dating apps, or I'm not gonna date until I've lost all this weight, or I've been successful in my career for like 5+ years. And Spirit's like, you don't need to accomplish certain things physically or career-wise, money-wise. You don't need to have all these milestones put in place in order for you to be accepting of love. Like, let's say you do have crooked teeth like me. It's like, do you really want to wait only, like, if there's somebody who would be with you now if you had, like, perfectly aligned teeth, but then you finally start dating them, and it's like, then it's not going to feel real anyway. It's like, well, you wouldn't have loved me or appreciated me for who I was before, right? Like you as a person, as a whole person. So really think about that. And I see this being a time of when you start going on dates as well, asking friends for help. Like maybe you go on a date and you notice red flags in the other person and you talk to your friend like, I don't know if this is a red flag or not. I could be overreacting. Maybe you overlook things. Maybe the trust is that you also can be over trusting of people as well. Or you like look, maybe because of slim pickings or like not many options, you're like, oh, I'm willing to accept this, it's fine. But then you talk to your friends and they're like, I would not put up with that. I would not deal with that, and you shouldn't either. So I think having that outside perspective can be very helpful and put our own perspective into better shape. So now for the Gay Tarot, I will pull from here and I will pull cards, 2 over here, 2 over here, 2 over here for advice, 2 over here relating to your future love. But I don't want to come across negative with this, but I feel like there's a lot of desperation with this group as well. And Spirit is like, you don't have to be desperate. You as a person alone are worthy enough. You can want relationships, but that doesn't mean like accepting things that you shouldn't accept just because there aren't many options around you. It's better to be alone than to have those kinds of options. I guess. Yeah, we have the Sun in reverse. I think for a lot of you right now too, it's like, yeah, the advice, I don't think it's just about being, I don't think it's just about having a lack of hope for your relationships. I feel like this is your energy right now as it stands, where it feels like you're kind of just very unhappy people. So advice from Spirit would be, I'm hearing turn that frown upside down. Like there are things you don't need a romantic partner to be happy. And also it's like, yeah, I'm hearing Spirit say, what are ways you can make yourself happy right now? What are things that make you happy? And if you're like, well, I like knitting and sewing, but I haven't been doing it because people say that's like an old granny thing to do, so I don't really do it, or when I do it I feel bad. And it's like, why you it's like, I think this stack, like I think you should, it's a weird balance because I feel that you need to take advice from, oh, here's what I'm hearing. You need to take advice from people that you respect, but I feel like instead you internalize the feedback you get from people who don't respect you. So Spirit's like, stop thinking about like what society at large thinks or what people who don't actually like you or appreciate you have to say about the way you live life. Or like your hobbies or interests. And maybe you were told it's like knitting and sewing, and then you go on Reddit and then you see these people like, yeah, that's such a weird thing for people our age to do. And then you're like, okay, I'm throwing this stuff in the closet, never to touch it again. It's like, no, don't say that. And I think a lot of you think you would be incompatible because of your hobbies and interests. And Spirit's like, you're able to just trust that you'll find people who, even if they don't like your hobbies now, maybe if they start dating you, they would participate in your hobbies and actually enjoy them. And even if maybe it's still not their thing, maybe some people just would want to help make you happy and they like that you like something so much, and so they'll be more supportive in that. This one wants to come out. Seven of Wands. Yeah, with this, I'm getting the two messages that are, I guess, kind of opposite each other, where I feel like Spirit is saying, you're trying too hard, you're not giving it a break. So if you're trying so hard to find a person in your life right now, Spirit's like, just give it a little bit of time. Trust that you'll find the person. It doesn't need to be right now. And I'm also getting that you still shouldn't give up, though. So take a break, take a breather right now, focus on your own self right now. You can try to find a romantic partner again in the future. You could focus more on love life in the future. Right now it seems like there's imbalances you need to work on in yourself. Like I feel like there's a lot of shame that you all hold. So Spirit is saying you need to work on accepting parts of yourself, and then you can give love more of a chance. But for right now, I think even if you were to find like the love of your life, you'd still hold so much internalized shame, and you'd always feel like you're not enough. So I think you need to work on that first right now before you can go into a long-term committed relationship. Spirit, what can we know about their future love life? The romance coming in the future. Okay, we have 3 of Wands in reverse. And this could also, the other stack 2B, there was 2 of Wands in reverse that was pulled for this, like exactly where this is right now. 3 of Wands in reverse can indicate, ooh. Okay, wait, I think, is this the one? Okay, 7 of Cups. Okay, 7, 7. Yeah, I feel like this is a pretty, okay, I know this is going to be more of a kind of specific message. This is what I was going to say with this as well. 3 of Wands can, to me, indicate moving or travel, especially far away from where you are now. So this could indicate that your next long-term relationship or your next love is somebody who is long distance, or maybe you meet online and it takes a long time for you to meet in person. For you all, I really get a sense that you could meet your next partner online. Like somewhere where you, maybe it is a shared hobby or interest, I don't know. Like you hear about people who start dating after they meet on gaming systems, gaming platforms. Or like, yeah, just through the games, I should say. Like, yeah, you can tell I'm such a gamer right now. I'm not saying that is a bad thing, by the way. I wish I had like a Wii so bad. I wish I could play Crash Bandicoot as well. Anyway, with this 3 of Wands in reverse and 7 of Cups upright, 7 of Cups can be either about having too many options. Here, I'm just gonna say what I'm sorry. I'm trying to say the traditional meanings, but I hear Spirit just being like, spit it out. I think that your next partner is somebody who is going to be a long distance from you. But I don't get the sense that that means, okay, some of you maybe could start dating somebody and you'll be long distance and then you'll move to where they live. But I think actually for a lot of you, what this also can indicate is that you won't meet your next, like, full-time, I don't know why I want to say full-time. It could be not until you move somewhere else for you to meet your next long-term romantic partner. It makes me think, like, if you live in a town of like 3,000 people and it's, you know, everybody, and maybe you're surrounded by other really small towns and you kind of know everybody, or maybe people just aren't aligned with you and your beliefs, with your lifestyle, with your habits. I know that it costs a lot of money to move and to travel, but this is very cut and dry. Your next romantic partner is somebody who you won't meet until you move elsewhere, you go elsewhere. So it also makes me think, like, I know on Tinder you can set if you get the premium, Tinder Plus, or I don't know what it's called, but if you pay for the additional services, like Tinder Gold or something, is that what it's called? Anyway, you can place your location elsewhere, and maybe you could start dating somebody that way, but it's not, if you do that, something like that, then right up front you need to be like, hey, I'm willing to maybe move here if I find somebody, but for right now I live in this place, so if you're willing to do long distance, that's okay with me. But this very much is giving either long distance relationship or you needing to literally move. 7 of Cups is about having a lot more options once you move. Like, flat out, you'll have a lot more of an ability to choose. The dating app will be better, you'll have more people to choose from on there, but also just in real life there'll be a lot more options, and then you won't have to pigeonhole yourself into being like, oh yeah, I'm willing to, like, not partake in this hobby, or I'm hearing a lot of you, as it stands right now, because of your circumstances, would be willing to change so much about your life. Spirit's like, well, moving is a big change, right? But at least you wouldn't have to pretend you're somebody who you're not. Like, you pretend to like something you don't actually like, or you pretend to dislike something you actually love, like sewing or knitting, right? You don't have to, like, make yourself smaller. I see you being a lot more small right now, so that's also why you can struggle with the confidence. So Spirit's saying once you're able to meet somebody from a different area of the world, once you're able to move, or like meet somebody long distance and then move to where they live, that's where you'll start to feel more confidence. You'll be like, oh, so it wasn't me that was the problem. It was my environment. It was the people in my environment who are so close-minded. And I think in a way, you being in a close-minded environment also makes it hard for you to, I'm sorry, I'm getting another message right now, but it makes it hard for you to, not also have a little bit of close-mindedness too, because then you internalize that. You're like, yeah, I won't ever find anybody, I'll have to settle for somebody who is not my type, who I don't like actually that much, but I want to start a family or whatever. I do want to say, this could be somebody who you end up meeting first as a friend as well. Or somebody who you could maybe be already friends with. I don't get the vibe you know this person yet, but I feel like this is somebody who you could be set up with by friends, or that you could be friends with first. So if you meet them through a game, then it's like you'll be friends first before you meet, before you travel to meet each other, or you start to live with each other, obviously. But this could be somebody who you start out with as a friend. But I still feel like this could be somebody who you know, or it still could be somebody who, it's like a friend of a friend of a friend, that kind of situation. Not necessarily, though. That's only for a select few of you who are listening to this. For a lot of you, I don't remember what I said earlier. Maybe I said you might. So you might. That if that's what I picked up on before, I don't remember. But it doesn't feel like you know this person. And it feels like if you do, they don't, again, locationally live where you live. So it's just something to consider. It's like, are you willing to move for love? Or is you maybe where you're at now, it's like your career is more important and you want to stay where you're at because of that. So yeah, things to consider, but I feel like there will need to be personal sacrifices made in order to like meet a true love in your future and to have a lot better of a dating pool to choose from. Because right now, cannot emphasize this enough, it feels like slim pickings for whatever reason. Even if there's a lot of people in the area, it just feels like you don't vibe with them. Or the people who you would date are like in long-term relationships already. Or you're friends with them. So yeah, something to... I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can pick up on this, but that's... Unfortunately, location is the main thing that's popping up right now. So I'm really sorry about that. But I hope that this reading was still insightful for you. If you liked the video, you can like the video. You can subscribe. You can check out my other timeless pick a card reading videos on my channel. And I have other content, like even some Reiki stuff, guided meditations, if you want to check those out. You can check out my ASMR channels. Those will be linked in the video description down below. But thank you so much again, and don't give up hope, okay? Bye-bye.